Hello, hello. Okay, you had the breakthrough. You felt the shift. The old story dropped. The clarity, but then life happened. Your body got tight again. Your anxiety crept in. Your breath got shallow. That doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It just means that you're human. So today we're exploring how to let the body catch up to the insight and why that is the heart of integration. Welcome to Walking the Path. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful to share with you some thoughts today. But first, um, today's topic is letting the body catch up to the insight and how important somatic integration is to the insight and why sometimes we've had these insights and yet we still feel tight. We still feel unsafe. We still feel unworthy. It doesn't mean that you haven't healed. It just means that there actually needs to be a somatic integration into the body. Okay. So that's today's talk. I'm super excited to share it with you. And I want to also acknowledge rythmia, because rythmia is where I see people every week having massive breakthroughs, soul reunifications, trauma releases, direct experiences of oneness and bliss. But what really moves me, it's when people come back to life and walk differently. That's integration. That's courage. That's the truth. And the truth is that we can't think our way into wholeness. We have to live it and we have to breathe it and let our bodies catch up to where the spirit already knows, right? What the mind knows, what the spirit knows, the body has to catch up. I also want to talk a little bit today about May Day. Today's May 1st. And May Day is, Labor Day, right? To a certain degree in other countries other than the United States. Um, but it's also Beltane. Beltane is one of the ancient Celtic traditions, and um, most pagan or ancient cultures, polytheistic cultures, celebrated Beltane, but it's not it's not a seasonal change. Yeah, sorry, I got it. I'm back. Okay, like in North America, we have 4 seasons. But in Guanacaste, here in Costa Rica, we have 2. Guanacaste is different than the rest of Costa Rica. It's a unique spot, and we have a wet season and a dry season. Well, Beltane, in the ancient world, they didn't have 4 seasons either. They had dark and light. Winter was dark, summer was light. And so Beltane is the celebration of moving from darkness into light. It's the time where we're bringing light back in. Um, and it's a time of blooming. It was celebrated as a fertility ritual, a fire, embodied joy, sensuality, all sorts of great stuff that we've demonized in the Judeo-Christian monotheistic myth. But really it's about moving from darkness into light, and the ancient ones had these 2 seasons. So I just want to anchor us into the significance of today. Historically, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, people have been celebrating this day as the midpoint between the winter equinox and the summer equinox. And is it equinox or solstice? Okay, now so winter solstice. Equinox is halfway in between. Solstice, the winter solstice and the summer solstice. Thank you. I'm catching up. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, because I'm remembering stuff as we're talking. Okay, real time remembering. All right. So today's talk. Insight isn't enough. The body needs time. And the key idea here is that insight is like a flash, like in ceremony and meditation and breath work and whatever, journaling, you have an insight. But integration is a process. And we often confuse understanding with healing. Just because we know that the wound is there, it doesn't mean it stops bleeding, right? So our awareness, our insight is an understanding. but the embodiment is the integration. And our bodies have been loyal soldiers. Bodies have been loyal soldiers. Pause because you weren't using the app. What are you talking about? Sorry, some weird things going on with Instagram right now. So thank you for waiting. Okay, so our bodies have been loyal soldiers, holding stress, surviving all sorts of stuff, all the patterns and the ancestral responses, and our bodies aren't betraying us when they don't feel right, when they feel off, when they feel tight, when you feel triggered. That's not a betrayal of the body. That's actually a protection based on the past. And our job is to update the signal. This is really integration. And this is why, oh, I realized, I had this feeling of being unsafe. And now I saw where that came from, but I still feel unsafe. Even though I know I'm safe, even though intellectually I know I'm safe, I still feel unsafe. The body has to catch up and update. So I see people all the time, whether it's one-on-one clients or in groups that I lead or at Rhythmia. People are like, I know I'm worthy. I know I'm worthy, but their bodies still contract, when they ask for what they need, right? There's still, I had that just the other day. I had to ask somebody, I had to request something, and there was a part of me that was like, oh, I don't want him to think that I can't handle it. It's like, that's an old pattern. Or I felt myself, saying, I know I'm safe, but I don't feel safe. Or I felt myself saying, I know I've done the work, but my jaw's clenching or my gut tightens in an old familiar way. That's not backsliding. The body is trying to integrate safety. So I want to give you today some tools to move the insight into the body. This is another part of integration, is somatic integration, moving the insight into the body, to help translate our cognitive awareness into emotional regulation, behavioral change, and nervous system rewiring. And this is the biggest part, is to regulate the nervous system with integration, because the nervous system has been operating on high uh, survival mode, fight or flight responses for so long. And then you drink plant medicine, or then you go to a retreat, or then you do breath work or in meditation, and you have an insight. You're like, oh my God, I see that. But the nervous system is still jacked up. So, what are some real tools that can help you move and translate a cognitive awareness into emotional regulation and behavioral change? So, one piece that I find really valuable for me is dialogue with the different parts of myself. Parts work, internal family systems, falls under the auspices of that psychologically. But really, a dialogue with the part of me that feels unhealed or unsafe or unworthy, with the other part of me that knows better. And let each of those parts, like, I do this and I probably look like a crazy person walking on the beach, but who cares? If I cared what people think, actually, I'm really working on not caring what people think. So it helps me to walk around and go, okay, they think I'm crazy, but I don't care. But I'll let the part of me that, you know, wants to fuck off and not do anything and not be productive and totally be like I was in college. There's that part of me. Talk. I'll let it talk. I'll let it get everything out. Yeah, but I want to do this. No, 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 no. I'll embody that fully. And then I'll let the other part of me talk that's like, okay, that's great. And you want to move ahead in your life. You want to grow and expand. And I have this conversation and let each part be heard. And there's something magical in that. There's something magical in having that dialogue, because the insight may live in the prefrontal cortex, but the trauma lives in the subpersonalities. So these subpersonalities have developed to protect us. So we got to give them a voice. We got to make that. If we just keep shoving them down, they're going to revolt, and it's not going to be pretty. So what does the sacred, or I'm sorry. Let me hold on a second. If you're having this dialogue with two parts of you, What does the scared or protective part need to feel safe with this new truth? Right? That's what you want to ask it. The part of you that's feeling the tight jaw, the gut, the tension, the part of you that's scared, the part of you that um, cognitively knows the insight, but physically isn't able to do it. You still feel unsafe. So then you got to ask that part, what do you need to feel safe? What do you need to live in this new truth? And and this will help you to integrate the insight on a soul level and to remind yourself of your inherent worth and the divine rhythm. There's a second tool that I want to give you, which is a mantra and or breath ritual. So mantras linked to breath and body movement are super powerful because it's like repetition and vibration and presence really equals a cellular level shift. So what does this look like? Let's say you're working with safety. Let's say you had an insight in ceremony that, oh my God, I've been operating according to all of these old patterns because I didn't feel safe. So, um, how would a mantra and breath and body movement, how would you translate that into helping you feel safe? Well, you could um, write something that has your body feel safe. Like every time, with each step, I walk in trust, or breathe, I am safe, and exhale, I am love. So that you just a simple phrase that makes you feel safe, that calms your body, right? Your words, not mine. But then you can take this simple thing. If you're working on worthiness, if you're working on safety, if you're working on enoughness, belonging, you can a couple of simple phrases with each step you take. Notice yourself when you're feeling that tension, that, oh my God, I'm feeling now like I have to prove myself through my productivity. Okay, what could you say? I'm enough already. I'm enough before I do anything. Breathe in, I'm enough. Breathe out, worry, doubt, and fear. Something that simple, small, micro steps will help to regulate the body and help to bring this integration on the cellular level. So, two tools: dialogue with the parts of yourself, or or embody a mantra with breathing rituals, something simple that when you notice that emotion coming up, you say a few words and take a deep breath, inhale and exhale, take a few steps and speak this mantra. It's it isn't resistance, it's repatterning. You have to repattern. You have to tell us a new story to the body. So the body moves at the pace of safety. Okay, the body moves at the pace of safety. The nervous system isn't interested in your spiritual insights. It's asking one question: am I safe? Right? So that's why there's this disconnect. I had this insight. I realize all this stuff, but it's not translating. I still feel physically uncomfortable, worried, nervous, upset, clenching, triggered, short, shallow breath, whatever it is for you that comes up. It doesn't mean that you haven't had the insight. It's just that the nervous system is catching up. So the brain loves insight, but the body wants consistency. And that's where regulation comes from. So the core message here is that your body doesn't move at the speed of your mind. It moves at the speed of safety. And we can't grow um, and at the same time know we're safe intellectually, but if the body is still running on an old survival programming, a tight chest, a shallow breath, a clenched jaw, it will act out the past. So like here's a metaphor: like the inside is like the spark plug, but the engine is the body, and if it's not tuned, you're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter if you have the spark plug. Let's bring this into science. Let's bring this onto a science level, a little science drop. You've heard of the autonomic nervous system, and that's what governs responses to stress or to safety. And so when we're dysregulated, we move into a sympathetic activation, which is like fight or flight, anxiety, tension, racing thoughts, rumination. Those are all aspects of sympathetic activation of dysregulation. And and also there's a dorsal vagal shutdown, right? Which is like freeze, numbness, disconnection, exhaustion. So regulation means helping the nervous system return to its natural state of feeling connected and grounded and open to life. So regulation is the key. And integration doesn't mean that we don't get ever triggered again. It means that we return more quickly, more gently, and with more self-love each time. One of my favorite teachers at Agape was Reverend Kathleen McNamara, and she used to say, I'm not asking to never fall asleep again. I'm just asking to wake up faster when I do, you know? So let's just weave in a little compassion with all this, though, with a little compassion with the integration that we're doing. There's no shame in the body taking its time. The body is wired for survival. And we're not failing if the body's feeling tight or clenched. We're just learning how to live in the body that's been on high alert for years, maybe generations. And that's why we must trust the process. And that includes the body's timeline. So this whole talk is about simple techniques and tools that we can use to help the body come into alignment with the spiritual insight that we've had. And a simple regulation tool would be orienting and exhaling and grounding. And this is so simple. You've probably seen it in a movie before, right? But it's as simply as if you're feeling dysregulated, if you're feeling racing, running, elevated heartbeat, shallow breath, clenched jaw, tight chest, something's going on, anxiety, you simply stop and gently turn around and look around the room. And you just name things out loud, a few neutral or pleasant things that you see, right? Like keyboard, Alex Gray print, candle, window, green plant, wooden table, morning light, my hands. Just start to orient yourself in the space that you're in, and that helps to tell the nervous system that there's no immediate threat and I can soften. Another thing you can do is breathe, right? Inhale gently through the nose, exhale slowly through the mouth, and you inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 6 or 8 counts. You extend the exhale. Do this for 3 to 5 times and sigh it out. Right? Do that. And when you're sighing out, you can say a simple phrase like, I'm here, I'm safe, I don't need to rush, all is well, I'm safe, everything's fine. These are simple techniques that help you to regulate the nervous system. And like, what if we didn't need to rush our healing? What if I trusted my body's pace as divine? The body needs rituals for safety, not just moments of insight. So this is another part of integration is the somatic integration, and breath and movement and presence aren't extras on the spiritual path. They're actually the path. Integration is the path. And regulation of the body is the path. And the moment your body knows it's safe, the moment your body knows it's okay, it can finally begin to let go. And that's when you can begin to really heal. So a couple more things on, check in with your body. What am I holding? What do I feel in my body? Right? And you don't need to fix it. You just need to witness it. There's nothing to do. A few breaths, look around the room, calm the body. There are some grounding rituals, right? To get out of your head and into your feet. Walk barefoot, touch a tree, put your hands on your heart and say, I'm here now. Like simple things. Grounding helps the body say, okay, I'm here, I'm present, this is safe. Stretch, shake, like somatic integration, move, sway, not performative, but just move the body can really help. Breath is a bridge. Breathe. Breathing is so important. 3 quick breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in for 4, out for 6, 3 times. You don't need to do all of these. Just choose one, either a grounding ritual, a somatic movement, breath as the bridge, or a body check-in. Any one of those will help you to build new wiring and to regulate the body. So let's see, is there anything else? I just, walk gently and root deeply. Walk gently and root deeply. Honor the pace of your body and breathe into every cell that I'm safe, I'm enough. It's all right to live what I know. Next week, we're going to do number 4, walking the path. Integration is the path number 4. And the topic will be life is the ceremony, living integration as a devotional path. Because, we want to talk about how to make your relationships, routines, reactions, part of your spiritual practice, and how to bring reverence into the most ordinary moments in life. Okay, so until next week, I'll see you next week. And until next week, walk gently, breathe deeply, and trust the path. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys next week. Blessings. Bye.